Okay, this is an update to the Galactic Empire's 3D space shooter by my company Midnight Oil Software. I've made several updates and improvements since I initially released it. First and foremost, I added a tutorial to give the player an explanation of what the objective of the game is. I had some feedback where players didn't know what they were supposed to do. I give some description of the enemy ships that you'll be facing, the type of weaponry you have, what kind of power-ups they drop when you destroy them, a better screen that shows the ship controls and the weaponry, how they work on the different ships. You have torpedoes and you have a particle beam, which is powered by a capacitor that depletes over time and slowly recharges. And then the various power-ups I added to the game. When you destroy enemy ships and also when the transport reaches a waypoint, random power-ups are dropped that you can pick up to replenish your munition, recharge your particle beam, repair your shields, and repair all damage. The other thing I did is I added a settings screen. Some players were complaining about the volume level. Game balance, I decided to give them the ability to make it harder or easier, which affects several factors in the game. And then most importantly, the mouse sensitivity. Interestingly enough, I had feedback from some players that said the mouse was too sensitive and the rate of turn was too fast, and others said it wasn't sensitive enough. They felt that it took too long for them to turn and get on target. So I made this configurable as well. Personally, I like it right here in the middle, but since that seems to be a matter of taste, I wanted to make that a configurable item. So a quick demo of the game with the changes that I've made. I added a cockpit view. Players seem to have a difficult time controlling the ship. They felt it wasn't real natural from this follow view. So I added a cockpit camera, which does feel a bit more natural. I added the ability to have weapons lock on. By default, they're just ballistic. They fire straight ahead. But when you get within a certain range of an enemy ship and keep it within your crosshairs, it will lock on. The torpedoes become guided at that point instead of just ballistic, and the particle beam will also automatically hit when it's locked on. I added a health bar to the transport ship. As you can see, there's a waypoint indicator for its destination. I have an enemy attacking it as a fighter. They're really easy to kill, so they're not super challenging, but they do come in waves. The difficulty level will affect the number of enemies and the strength of the enemies. It will affect how powerful the player ship's weapons are, how quickly they recharge, the number of torpedoes that you get, a number of different factors like that. It will also affect the distance between waypoints, which means you'd have to keep the transport ship alive longer, making it more difficult or less difficult, depending on which difficulty you picked. Music changes depending on whether there are enemies near or not. So you can see my shields are almost completely depleted and they're slowly recharging. I play a little victory music jingle there when the transport reaches a waypoint. So frigates and destroyers are tougher than fighters. And that frigate dropped some torpedoes. So you'll notice when I picked them up, it replenished 5 of my torpedoes that I had depleted. So I think that pretty much demonstrates the new functionality that I've added. Mainly the settings screen, the tutorial, the ability to lock on weapons, and the power-ups. Here I only have a little bit of hull damage, but when I pick up this power-up, you see that it repaired 1,000 points of hull damage. So yeah, I think that's a good little video. I can't remember if, as of the last update, if I had the pause screen. As you can see there, I can pause. And there's also a help screen that just tells you what the different controls are, which now, of course, there's a much better version of this in the tutorial that you get to from the title screen. Hitting escape no longer completely exits the game. It takes you back to the title screen. And then